Guys, if you have not watched parts 1 through 3, make sure you go do that. I put a lot of effort into them, especially part 3. I want you guys to really feel how I felt, like I was really hurt. So, now part 4, I'm not going to do all the extra stuff. I'm just going to tell it and wrap everything up. So, I got the letter, and it was from Maple City, which was the town that everything happened in. And it was basically saying that the defendant, Denise, pleaded guilty to the crimes committed against me. And she was facing 2 years in prison. 2 years in prison. When I read that letter, I was in shock because it's 7 months later after the whole situation. And I had told the officer that I didn't want to press charges. You know, like 2 months after the situation happened when he called and asked me. So I was wondering, when did she go to court? Like, when did all this happen? And how did it happen if I didn't press charges? And there was also a paper attached to the letter. And it was a form to fill out for restitution. I think it was telling me about restitution. So I either had to fill a form out or I had to write a letter in. I can't remember. But the second part was basically telling me how I can get my money back. And so I called the number right away. And I talked to the lady and I said, you know, I don't want the girl to go to prison. I just want my money. It's 7 months later. I just want my money. I want it to be over with and I want my money back. That's it. She said, well, ma'am, there's nothing I could do. You know, there's nothing you could do about it. She's facing 2 years. So I don't know if she was actually facing 2 years for that crime or she got arrested for something else and they just start throwing everything at her. Because somebody told me that the state can do that. They can just start bringing up everything. So after I told my family, that's when I started getting mixed emotions again. Because half of my family didn't want to get involved in it. So they just didn't say anything. Because they were close with Denise as well. And Denise is cool. She's cool. She's funny. She's fun. And they really loved her. So some of them just kind of like didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want to talk about it. And some people that I felt like I needed their support, they weren't there for me. Like I needed somebody reassure me that I was doing the right thing, that I'm not in the wrong. You know, she took from me. So now I was being looked at as the bad person. She wasn't. And what made me so upset was that one person, you know, came at me, was just like, how you gonna do this to your family member? How you gonna send her to prison? You know she has a child. How you gonna do that to her? Y'all were close. This, and that. Another family member that was more closer to Denise than they were to me. And they were mugging me. Every time I saw them, they just were giving me this look. And I did not understand why, because we were cool. And things started to unfold and they, you know, expressed to someone else that they were upset about the situation, that this was a family matter and we should have handled this as a family and I should have never went to the police. First of all, at first, I didn't know who it was. I had an idea it was Denise. I didn't tell y'all that in the first part, but I had an idea it was Denise because Denise has a history of stealing. And this is not the first time it's been speculated that she's stolen from me. Those are other story times. I may not even ever tell them because, yes. But I thought it was Rocky. No, I first thought it was Denise. And then when they said PIN number, I'm like, but Rocky was the only one that knew the PIN. So I just didn't know who it was. But she was the first person that came across my mind because she's a known thief. And so the person was just mugging me. And that just made me feel some type of way. You know, have all your family kind of against you or not nobody supporting you, especially in a situation like this. It was the worst feeling ever. I felt so alone. So alone. There were only 2 people that assured me that I was doing the wrong thing. But the people that I really needed to have my back did not have my back. But I made it through that situation. And I felt like Denise did a lot of things to people and people always protected her. I feel like people always protected her. I don't care what she did. People always protected her. And we weren't teenagers anymore. We were adults. So for them to say that, it just really, I don't want to keep saying hurt, but I was hurt by all of this. So Denise ended up doing a few months in prison. Not in prison, in jail. I didn't know all this. She did a few months in jail. I got my money back. And to this day, it's 3 years later, me and Denise are cordial. We're cordial. I have forgiven her. And when you can stand feet away from somebody and not feel a certain way, not get angry all over again, when you can hear this person's name and not cringe every time you hear their name, you know you have kind of moved past it. Because at the beginning, every time I heard her name, it made me cringe. It made me mad all over again. And now I'm at peace. And I did what I was supposed to do. And I felt like I did do the right thing by reporting it. I did not know it was her. So I felt like I was doing the right thing, even though some people didn't feel like I was. I felt like I was. Nobody was going to give me my money back. But I got my money back. And it came at the right time. It came at the right time. Man, I can't remember what was happening, but it came at the right time. So I just want you guys to hold on. If you're going through a situation similar to this, which I know many of you probably have, probably not the same exact situation, but somebody betraying you, don't worry about it. Keep doing what you're supposed to do. And things are going to start to fall into place. That person's going to get theirs. It may not be what you, the punishment that you want, but they're going to get theirs. And you're still going to be blessed if you do the right thing. So I want you guys to have a happy holiday, happy New Year, stay safe, and I will see y'all next year.